Well, hi, it's Tom. Uh, can I ask a question? How many times have you had sushi in the last 6 months? Once? 5 times? 10 times? Never? I've been thinking about the election and the intense um, conflict that we see playing itself out in the electorate and here on YouTube as well. And the for me, one of the things that really characterizes the intensity of this conflict are these cultural values that we seem to cluster around and which are currently separating us from one another in such a dramatic way and separating us so intensely that those of us who have eaten sushi more than 10 times in the last 6 months don't even talk to people who have never eaten sushi in the last 6 months. It's kind of like we're creating these little enclaves within our nation, and we don't talk to one another. I've spoken on this before in videos, and it's one of the reasons that I decided that I really needed to get involved with YouTube, because I live in Connecticut and I have an apartment in Manhattan, and I don't get to interact with people from places that are very different from Connecticut and Manhattan. And I really felt that that void, that distance that we've created from one another. And it's almost at a point where it's impossible for us to talk to one another. And I wondered whether or not you think it's possible for us to really transcend those kinds of cultural differences between us and figure out a way to have conversations about the important things that are common amongst us, rather than focusing on all the things that are different amongst us. And it's difficult because the political parties have figured out over the last, I don't know, is it 30 years, that what they need to do is to, and this phrase is now everywhere, focus on their base, right? And ignore the people who aren't in their base. And what that means is that we talk to one another in these echo chambers. And so we don't talk to anybody who doesn't already agree with us about anything. We don't read newspapers or magazines or watch television or watch videos that don't already agree with us. And that's a dangerous thing to me. It seems like what we're doing is we're pulling ourselves apart rather than finding a way to pull ourselves together. And I don't know, I'd be interested in your thoughts, because whether or not you like sushi or I like sushi ought not to be the determining factor in how we regard one another and whether or not we can agree on some common values that are important to us as a nation. So, I don't know. Just popped into my head and thought I'd make a quick one about that. So take it easy and see you soon.